Well, good evening and, in fact, good morning, and welcome to Seven's Football Marathon. About 7.5 hours now for you of grand finals dating right back from 1950 through until last year's 1982's big epic between Carlton and Richmond. In fact, tonight and this morning, right through until 8 o'clock, until program ends, we have highlights in the last quarters from 15 grand finals. From the 50s, we have 1950, 54 and 58. From the 60s, the last quarter of grand finals from 1960, 61, 65, 66 and 67. Highlights in the 70s of grand finals, 73, 75, 1976, 77 and 79, and of course last year as well, which will close our program off at around 7:30 this morning. Plus also, and right out of the archives, highlights of the Victoria-West Australia game from the 1961 Interstate Carnival in Brisbane. Just let me also at this stage remind you of Seven's big coverage of football on today. 8 o'clock this morning we'll be going to the North Melbourne Champagne Breakfast, 9 o'clock for the Under-19 Grand Final at the MCG, 11 o'clock for the Army Reserve Grand Final, and then 2 o'clock for the big Seniors Grand Final, Hawthorn and Essendon. Of course, news and the big replay, and that was the season that was later on tonight, so it's a top day of football. Now let's get right down to the action, and in fact, for Collingwood supporters, the last premiership. Let's now go to the last quarter of the 1958 Grand Final between Collingwood and Melbourne. 97,000 people in attendance, and Neville Nash was the umpire.
Bob Johnson's kick over centre-half forward, but it's going to Collingwood. Fellows. Fellows has been one of Collingwood's best, along with Merritt, Wiedemann, Turner and Reeves. Best for Melbourne, Thorogood, Williams, although outmatched in the last quarter by Wiedemann, Laurie, Mithun and Ridley. This is Cyril Merritt leading them all the merry dance. He hasn't run out of steam so far today. Henderson at centre-half forward. Torpedo punt going down there, 50 yards from goal. Cleared by Don Williams for Melbourne across the half-back line, falling short of Ian McLean, but he scoops it up and handballs it to his teammate who comes through and clears. That's Keith Carroll clearing to the centre of the ground. Dick Fenton-Smith. Delante is number 24 trying to pick it up. Fenton-Smith on his right, and joining them in the chase is McLean. Spirited piece of defence by Delante, and Collingwood's defence has been great. Their forwards have been right up to the mark too. Thorogood holds up that advance, and his long kick is over the half-forward line. Sullivan misses the mark. Webb is scouting the pack, but Reeves scoops it up and kicks to the half-forward line for the Magpies. Don Williams gives into the arms of Sullivan. Sullivan 50 yards out from goal. He's on the half-back line. Barassi number 2, and number 3 for Collingwood is Harrison. Sullivan, the Carnival full-back, clears the ball from the half-back line towards the half-forward line and along the outer flank. Thorogood for Melbourne. And it's towards Adams, the rover. He keeps it just inside the line. Athel Webb. And it's a battle between Reeves and Ridley. Ridley took a shocking knock earlier from Sarong and hasn't been much in the game since. Webb again gets through the pack somehow, and he shoots for goal. Again, Thorold Merritt clears for Collingwood. He's playing magnificently in defence as well as in attack. Number 14 for Collingwood, just turning back in towards the camera, is Bill Sarong. Norm Smith, Melbourne's coach. Collingwood leading 81-54. And Melbourne, after a goal early, have not been able to get the ball home. Laurie Mithun for Melbourne. From the centre wing, it's over centre half forward, but gets the bad bounce. Big Fellows up. Such an awkward player, I wouldn't think he'd be able to mark the ball in in any way, shape or form in these conditions, but he's marked well all day. No reserves on the field as yet. I'm surprised Melbourne haven't whipped a couple in. This is John Beckwith, their captain, who hasn't been right at home today with his game. He's let his resting rovers in for a few goals. Brenchley for Melbourne to centre-half forward. Ball is cleared by Rose, Bobby Rose's brother, Kevin Rose. And now here's a break for Collingwood. It's Merritt. Gets onto his left foot. He's tackled by Beckwith and gets through. Great mark by Marquis. Wiedemann on his mark. Again, I repeat, in case you're trying to follow the players by numbers, which may be familiar to you, all numbers have been changed. Mark is taken by Fellows of Collingwood. 12-9 to 8-6, 81 to 54, and the Magpies are travelling like real winners of the 58 flag. Barassi on the ball now and resting in the back pocket. Momentarily takes the mark. That's McLean. He's found in the centre. Oh, bad play by Melbourne on the back line, but they'll get away with it. McLean, after handballing it to Thorogood, got it back again and kicks to the half-forward line. This is Crompton. They brought a reserve on. Crompton's just come onto the ground. I think they've taken Ridley off. We'll check on the time for you. This telecast through Channel 7 is the grand final. Franz Kine in the felt hat. We've had 10 minutes of play in the final quarter. 17 for Melbourne. Adams tackled from behind and knocked down too. Free kick should be Melbourne's way, I would think, to Adams. Definitely struck. Adams is 50 yards out from goal on an angle of about 25 degrees. His kick will fall short. Touch going through the behind post anyhow. That's the score at the moment, and studio, this is your cue.
They say I'm the biggest ham around. Well, it takes the biggest to know the best.
High marking is a feature of our game, as Ampol Enterprise is a feature in Australian industry. High marks to Ampol, the motoring spirit of all proud Australians. The grand final of the Rip Snorter for sheer determination and strength in the packs. The ball is out of bounds on the Melbourne half-forward line on the members' side. It's in front of the players' race. Fenton Smith knocking away, but knocking it right down one of the Collingwood players' throats. This is young Bennett with the ball. Played very well when resting off the ball in the forward pocket for Collingwood. This is Laurie Mithun, turning into trouble everywhere, but he's clever and he gets out of it. He's put down there, and heavily too, and the kick will go downfield. Now it's starting to rain, just to add to the misery of today's conditions. Ethel Webb falling short. Collingwood 12 goals 9, Melbourne 8 goals 7. And how jealously are Collingwood hanging on to that proud record of theirs, 4 premierships in a row. It was Melbourne's chance to equal that today. The chance is still there, but it's getting slimmer every moment. Melbourne's rucks are being totally outclassed here. When they are getting the knock away, it seems that Collingwood men are sharking the hit-outs. Fenton Smith against McToomey. McToomey got it over his head there towards Harrison. Rose to Bennett, and Bennett from the half-back line for Collingwood along the members' wing to the centre wing where it's out of bounds again. 12-9 to 8 goals 7. And Collingwood look like breaking the Melbourne hoodoo. In the last 10 times they've met, the best Collingwood have been able to do is a draw. And it's a long, long time since they've beaten Melbourne on the Melbourne cricket ground. And here's another tussle between Barassi and Delante this time. The free kick is to Melbourne's Dynamo, who has not had a good season in comparison with other seasons of his, but is worth watching at any time. Barassi's kick finds somebody in the forward pocket. Bob Johnson. He was trying to crib a few yards to improve the angle, but umpire Nash wheels him around, and he's only about 6 or 7 yards inside the boundary line, so you can appreciate the angle. The distance is nothing, it's the angle. Oh, he's off the target. Number 12 for Collingwood there was Grieve, who is now on the field. Point forced. 8 goals 8 to 12 goals 9. Harry Sullivan to the outer wing. Adams for Melbourne. No score. Johnson got the knock away, but right into a Collingwood player's arms. It was Harrison, and he clears to the half-back line, and there it's out of bounds again. The change in the game was amazing because Melbourne got the start, and it was thought that whichever team really got the start would be right in the box seat. 9 times out of 10, that is true. Melbourne got a wonderful start. They had a couple of goals, 3 goals up before Collingwood looked like getting into any kind of form. But since that first quarter, it's been all Collingwood. Trevor Johnson for Melbourne to the half-forward line. The ball is on the wing. Mitten caught in possession. And now it's out between the half and full forward lines in that pocket on the outer wing. Fenton Smith. Again, the hit out is taken by a Collingwood player. Delante's left foot kick is to the far wing. And around the neck paid to Bill Sarong. Sarong to the half-forward line. Williams sees it go out.
You're looking at Australia's #1 commercial vehicle range, the Red Hot Toyotas. Right now, your Toyota dealer is up to his ears in red hot deals on the complete Toyota range. Pick up a fantastic red hot deal on Light Ace Happy Wheels, the roomy wagon that makes family motoring fun. So hurry along to your Toyota dealer and clean up on a red hot deal soon. Red hot deals while stocks last.
Oh, what a feeling. Toyota.
Government and fleet buyers welcome.
Boy, oh boy, makes you wonder.
Sure does.
Where did they get the money for that?
Mercantile credits. Oh.
Where did they get the money for that?
Mercantile credits. Where did they get the money for that? Mercantile credits. And that.
And that.
And that.
And that.
Where did they get the money for that?
Aha.
Mercantile credits. You call us.
Just as these 3 atoms become one molecule, so these 3 paints becomes the one solution to all the interior painting needs. Why 3? New vinyl for a great matte finish on walls. New satin is a semi-gloss.
Tough enough for windows and doors.
And new gloss for a genuine full gloss. And of course, they all wash out in H2O. And and marks just wipe off. British paint's a perfect formula for all your interior painting. Trust British paints? Sure can.
Putting energy to good use is very important, especially physical energy. It can keep you fit and healthy. It can also keep Australia as a nation winning in the world of sport. And those are the reasons Esso have also contributed over $1 million to Australian sport in the past 5 years. You could say it's just another way Esso are helping develop Australia's natural resources.
Free kick to Thorold Merritt. 16 minutes of play already gone in the grand final. Thorold Merritt on the half-forward line. Melbourne still 4 goals, 1 behind. Don Williams clearing to the centre of the ground. Rose takes the mark. Towards Wiedemann. The knock away goes to Merritt. Merritt's kick is into the goal square. And it's through. 1 point to Collingwood. They are now 4 goals, 2 in front of Melbourne with 17 minutes of play in the final quarter already gone. Studio, your cue again. Well, when the going is tough in football, the call is always for teamwork. In motoring, it's the same thing. But when you drive on Ampol Super, you are backed by the greatest team in the oil industry today, Ampol. Peter Marquis has taken a timely mark in defence and clears to the members' wing this time. Stacks on the mill, right in front of the members' stand. Brian Dixon is there with Keith Carroll for Melbourne and Ken Turner for Collingwood. Alan Nash about to bounce it up 10 yards inside the boundary line on Collingwood's half-forward line on the members' side. Dixon, kick off the ground by Mick Toomey towards young Bennett. Bennett tackled by John Beckwith. And Beckwith gets the kick. Beckwith to the half-forward line. It's a long, raking punt kick. Goes further with the bounce. And Harry Sullivan turns the attack towards Delante. Delante and Bob Johnson in the picture now. The ball is on Melbourne's half-forward line on the members' wing in front of the Olympic stand. Mick Toomey over the head towards Rose. Rose gives it to Gavlich. Gavlich kicks to the wing, but there's nobody at home for Collingwood, and Mitten marks and quickly gets on with the job for Melbourne. It's down there to the forward line where a lovely mark is taken by Sullivan again. He was the last line of defence at that moment. Had the ball gone through, it would more than likely have been a goal for Melbourne. Bob Johnson being whistled back off the mark, as Sullivan is content to take his time. Time's all in Collingwood's favour. Sullivan kicks it wide, the sensible thing to do. Barassi kicking. Number 15 for Collingwood there is Rose. Gavlich on the left, Barassi number 2, Bob Johnson at the top of the picture on the right. This is right where the number 1 fiery incident in the match took place. Gavlich going through the pack and kicking to the half-back line. Don Williams, a nice balk, and gets his kick in too. It's going down into the forward pocket. Crumpton on his 19th for Melbourne gets his first kick. It's high and it's towards the square. And Louis Adams tried to kick it off the ground, and it's forced through for 1 point. That's the score at the moment in the grand final, being telecast through Channel 7. And studio will ask you to take it again.
Just as these three atoms become one molecule, so these three paints become the one solution to all the interior painting needs. Why three? New vinyl for a great matte finish on walls. New satin is a semi-gloss.
Tough enough for windows and doors.
And new gloss for a genuine full gloss. And of course, they all wash out in H2O. And marks just wipe off. British paints, the perfect formula for all your interior painting. Trust British paints? Sure can.
If you're buying or already drive a Holden sedan, wagon or light commercial, ask your Holden dealer about the exciting range of GMH accessories designed to enhance your Holden and add to your driving comfort. Integrated air conditioning that gives four-season climate control at a touch. Accessories that shield you and protect your car. Others for general touring or off-road when the going gets tough. Your Holden dealer can put GMH accessories to work on your Holden today.
Once upon a time, Nige wanted to be a TV star. Bert said,
"A TV star? Be your own. Buy a video camera and portable backpack from Canberra TV."
Shortly after, Nige was seen shooting the footy, around home, weddings and more. Later, Nige, family and friends would all gather and enjoy replays of new stars being born. Now the moral is, if you want to be your own TV star, buy a portable video system from Canberra TV. You'll be entertained happily ever.
General Motors Holdings, in association with Carlton and United Breweries, National Panasonic and Rank Arena, are proud to be involved with 7 Sports' exclusive presentation of the 1983 BFL Grand Final Series telecasts.
A lot of free kicks in today's game, and if you want a kick in your car engine, then that's easily solved. Pull in at the Ampol pump because Ampol Super gives sustained power. The eclipse of Melbourne's star-studded team, certainly the boil-over of the year. This is young Bennett. Collingwood, and Tunbridge is getting a free kick from right on the boundary line. Distance is nothing. Again, it's a matter of accuracy. Right across the goal front. Melbourne can't do a thing right. And Collingwood reaping the benefits of their most determined play. Dixon, usually number 9, tries a drop kick, one of the few we've seen today, and that's Barassi chipping right in front of Rose. Had they collided, they both would have been out for 6 months. Barassi between the half and full forward lines. He's 50 yards out from goal. His kick is going into the goal square. And a kick through. That's a goal. Been allowed to Crompton. Studio, yours again. It's full points to Ampol for yet another demonstration of their support of Australian sport and Australian sportsmen. The £1,000 prize, football's richest award, was given this season by Ampol. We'll check the time. Melbourne 3 goals, 1 behind. 3 goals, 1 in arrears. 22 minutes gone. And Fenton Smith's left foot kick finds Athelwebb. Athelwebb on the half-forward line, up on his feet. Handballs to Crompton, who stupidly called for it right in the middle of 2 Collingwood players. And Nolan Smith just about tears all his hair out. Norm Smith in the centre. Players are tired. It's been a hard slogging match. The vigour has been enough to satisfy the thirst of those who would expect a lot in 5 games. Reeves, young Reeves, marking at the back of the pack. No team has been able to beat another team 3 times in the one season this year. And it seems that that record is being kept alive by Collingwood turning the tables on Melbourne today. The game's not over, but it's very close to being over for the Demons, who, after being the favourites right throughout the season, are in dire danger of being well and truly toppled by Collingwood. 12-10 to 9-9 in the grand final. We've had 23 minutes of play now, 23 minutes of play, and it's a matter of time, it seems. Reeves clears towards Sullivan. Sullivan gets the mark just inside the boundary. Another good player for Collingwood today. When a side wins a premiership, all its stars play well. You don't win them unless you do play well. Now watch the ruck duels closely again. It's Fellows against Bob Johnson. Fellows again gets the knock, playing in front all the time. Rose with the ball. Kick off the ground by Henderson towards Carroll for Melbourne and his immediate opponent in Beers, but it's out of bounds right in front of our number one camera position, which is right in front of the Melbourne coach's bench. This is Henderson with the ball. Still got it. Good play. And he finds, or he nearly found Merritt. Carroll and Beers are in the picture too. Dixon for Melbourne. Tackled by Turner with the ball out of bounds. 12-10 to 9-9. And the crowds are starting to make their way out of the stadium. Trevor Johnson for Melbourne. Collingwood have closed this game up most successfully on the back lines. This is the Collingwood camp. Trevor Johnson on the half-forward line for Melbourne. Good kick too, right down into the goal square. Nobody at home to mark it. Melbourne have been completely outmatched in the air. Outmatched in the air, in the ruck, and around the packs. Beers, tackled by Carroll, who was brought back 15 yards. There's a penalty for making an infringement of the rules after the mark had been taken. To the half-forward flank on the members' wing. Collingwood again in the air. Wiedemann takes the mark, but he has it taken from him. It's going Melbourne's way. Something must have gone on behind the play, and it's Peter Marquis getting the kick. Marquis to the centre wing. Coral Merritt gets his kick to half-forward. Don Williams. That was Brenchley putting it over the line. Out of bounds. Mike Delante didn't think so. He was the one who scooped it up and kicked it for Collingwood. But the ball comes back. After 27.5 minutes of play, it's still Collingwood 3 goals in front. Brenchley sandwiched. Players are very tired. McLean kicks to the half-forward line. Rose's kick. Well, you've got to take your hat off to these Magpies. Fantastic. They lost 3 of their last 4, if you don't count last week's game. Still held on to second place, more by a miracle than anything else, as their own supporters will agree. And now, after being down throughout the finals and having to come out for 3 hard games in a row, they've bobbed up to win the grand final. Fenton Smith. Ken Turner. He's been one of Collingwood's good players again today. He's had a great season. Again, a free kick in the pack to Peter Marquis. "29 minutes gone. There's the siren. And the Magpies have done it. The last time was 1953. They've saved their proud record of 4 straight wins. Thorold Merritt and Bennett, the 2 Rovers who played such a great part in the win too. Sign of delirious excitement. Look at the excitement. Well, they've broken the Melbourne hoodoo. They've kept good their record of 4 straight premierships. Footscray is there, and they've brought into being the greatest football upset for many, many a long day. Murray Wiedemann, the captain in the absence of Frank Tuck, being chaired off the ground. John Beckwith of Melbourne slapping Bob Johnson on the back, and Don Williams. Don Williams played a brilliant first quarter for Melbourne. Thorold Merritt being cheered off too, number 16. And quickly the triumphant Collingwood players are swamped by admirers around the players' race.
And so our first grand final tonight, quite a nostalgic one, an 18-point win to Collingwood. In 1958, they beat Melbourne 82 points to 64. For Collingwood in that year, Wiedemann, Brewer, Beers, Bennett and Merritt in the grand final kicked 2 goals each, and for Melbourne, Barassi and Adams 2 goals each. The final scores, Collingwood 12-10, 82 to Melbourne 9-10, 64. That was our first grand final replay in Seven's grand final football marathon, and it was an 18-point win to Collingwood. As I said about a half an hour ago, 15 grand final quarter highlights for you in the program right through until 8 o'clock this morning, and also from the archives, highlights of the interstate clash between Victoria and West Australia at the 1961 Carnival. Next up after the break, we'll have the 1961 grand final between Hawthorn and Footscray, followed by a preliminary final also from the 60s, and that'll be Fitzroy Collingwood. Next up though, the 61 grand final, Hawthorn and Footscray.
Inside the wheels of your car, your brakes are working hard, but little things do go wrong. Fluid leaks, parts wear out, overheating occurs. Your brakes become less efficient. Every brake system needs a Payton's Brakes checkup every 6 months to find the little faults before they become big ones. It's only $6, and it's good to know your brakes are safe. Payton's Brakes are the brake specialists. We have been for a long time. Check in for a checkup. See Payton's Brakes for clutches too.
Now, Sheen make high-precision videotapes. Great picture, great colour. Insist on Sheen high-precision videotape.
Give him bop, honey. Give him up.
I'm gonna knock their socks off.
Oh, watch out.
They're hot, they're wild, they're the kids from fame, as you've never seen them before.
I'm a joker, sometimes even a clown, but this time, baby, I'm not fooling around.
The live sell-out concert performance at London's Royal Albert Hall. It's the kids from fame, strutting their stuff.
You teach us how to laugh. I don't need to play no games. I'm gonna set you free.
The kids from fame. An explosion of energy and excitement for the first time on television Saturday night, 6:30.
Now to 1961, the grand final at the MCG, 107,000 people in attendance, and it's Hawthorn versus Footscray.
Jeff Raymond and Reg Hickey take up the description. There goes the bounce of the ball for the fourth and final quarter, and it's Cooper for Hawthorn who gets the tap down. Cooper rising very high there, and a free kick is pulled out of the hat here, going towards Footscray. Let's see who's taking it. It's not Spargo, no. Spargo, the centre man of it, was taking it for a moment. He's not. further back to the Gillard of the half-back line, who takes the ball, kicks it onto the half-forward line for Footscray. Chance for Footscray here to come through McKellar. McKellar's kick is not a good one. It gets the ball, though, to centre half-forward. Hawthorn have a chance to clear here. Cooper came in, couldn't take the ball, and it's left to Slattery, working well out from goal to kick it down towards the full-forward position. Whitten goes high. He can't hold the ball. And Winnicky kicks it away for Hawthorn, out of bounds on the opposite side of the ground. It's now on the members' side of the ground. Out of bounds about 30 yards around from the behind post for a throw-in. Schultz sets himself in the ruck, but still can't get that tap down. Stead Hay knocks the ball out to where there's a chance for Law to pick up. He does so, sends it further downfield towards the centre wing position, where Footscray are in through Spargo. Spargo's kick puts them down into attack again. A chance for them here. Oh, Duff, the new man who's on. Gardner has gone off. Duff couldn't hold that one. He's number 16 in there. Has yet to have a kick for the day. He's just come on after half-time. Schwab calls for the ball. Yes, Gardner, after taking a couple of knocks early there, finally Schultz does get the knockdown, sends it in the arms of Graham Eon. However, Hawthorn have got it away down towards the centre wing position and over the line and out of bounds. Footscray doing the attacking anyway, Reg.
Oh, very much so, Jeff. But I'm not getting too much result out at the moment. They've got to score to get anywhere near to finish this game. I'm rather into trying to pick up who's roving.
They're roving Eon, I think. Graham Eon looks to be on the ball, Reg.
That's the one, I think, yes.
Anyway, Brendan Edwards has got the ball. He's been doing so much damage for Hawthorn there in the centre today. Only to see Charlie Evans get dumped. Comes back into it again. There's Evans still playing the ball on in front of him. Picks it up, wearing a bandage on his right elbow, incidentally. Well, there's a chance for Mort to mark. He couldn't do so. And back to the centre wing position comes the ball. And over the line, I think, when that mark was taken. It was taken by Hay, but I think it might have been over the line.
That's right, Jeff. It was over the line.
And the boundary umpire is getting the ball back. He looked to me as though he was just over the line when he grabbed the ball in. Now, on the throw-in. Hello, there's an infringement towards against Schultz here, I think. Yes, and John Peck of Hawthorn will be taking it. Peck, who started off at full forward, is now rucking for the Hawks. And rucking mighty well, too, because Schultz has been almost shut out of the game. Graham Arthur gets caught in possession of the ball. Gary Young punches it along. It looked to be just over the line there. However, Gary Young got his hand to the ball, sent it along to where picks the ball up, sends it back to where Mort gets it and kicks it out of bounds. You get the impression here that Hawthorn are slightly coasting along a bit. Hoyle's in possession, sends it to Spargo. Spargo working well away from the centre of the ground, overruns the ball and lets Hawthorn in. His opponent comes in, Brendan Edwards. Brilliant with the ball, gets flattened after he'd kicked it, but not heavily. His kick goes out of bounds in front of Hoyle's. On the throw-in, it's Hill in front of Schultz, who gets the tap down. Oh, Graham Arthur was underneath that one. There he is, picking himself up now. He's all right. Well, nearly all right.
I like that bit, Jeff. Nearly all right.
Further down towards the goals here. There's a chance for Hawthorn. No, I think there might be a ball up. No, he's found a free kick out of it. And it's going Footscray's way. It's being taken by Evans. Yes, Evans taking the free kick in the back pocket for Footscray. Not a good kick, but it goes to Schultz. Oh, and Schultz has done that a lot. He dropped that one right onto his tummy, and he let it fall to the grass. Hawthorn trying to get into attack through Fisher, who passes backwards over his shoulder to Cunningham. Cunningham has a shot for goal, but will go out of bounds by the behind post. Little Cunningham coming in today in place of Connell, who was injured for Hawthorn. I think Reg has done a pretty good job round the packs.
Oh, very good, Jeff. I think they've had the bite round the packs. Both Hawthorn rows have outdone the Footscray rovers all day long, I think.
Well, here's a further chance for Hawthorn through Mort. Mort couldn't get his boot to the ball. Cunningham's still in there, gets pulled and pushed down to the ground. Footscray have a chance to clear here, but a bit slow. And Uren comes in, a nice hand pass across to Fisher, to his opposite wingman, and Fisher's kick, a left-footer, is actually going a little bit further away from goals. However, Ian Law, the rover, no, he can't get his hands to it. There's a chance now for Brown. Brown gets caught in possession, and the kick will go against him. Footscray are out of trouble temporarily. Hoyles will take the kick.
Jeff, it's very noticeable to me at the moment. I think both sides are feeling the pressure now, and the players settled down quite a bit to what it was in the previous 3 quarters. I suppose it's only natural, but they're getting a bit tired.
Well, it has been played at a cracking pace all day. Footscray have got the ball across the centre line, only to find MacArthur. John MacArthur at centre half back, sending on to Gary Young. Is it?
It's Gary.
Gary Young, who's taken the mark at centre half forward. Coming into the game a bit more now is Gary Young. In fact, he's had the better of Hoyles, I would say, Reg, today.
I think a little bit, Jeff, yes, just a wee bit. He only kicked straight. Look at that one.
That's a shocking kick, isn't it? Very bad kick indeed. Hobbs was there. Hobbs is not making much pace, but he does take the hand pass to put his team out of trouble, getting the ball to the centre wing position. It's a great old struggle going on there, and it's Cam McPherson who gets it across to Brendan Edwards. Brendan Edwards too strong, a little bit too fast. Down to Colin Uren. Uren down to the half-forward place, at the half-forward position. Schultz has the ball, can't get rid of it. Charlie Evans gets pulled when not in possession and will take a free kick, I think.
Jeff,
him getting up off the carpet
on
now.
the day, he's been a rather solid little player back there, little Charlie, my boy, you know.
Yes, I would say he's possibly been the pick of the backmen today.
I think so.
In spite of those few fumbles very, very early in the match, he's been trying all the time. He's done a lot of work for Footscray in the defence position. Well, there's his kick. It's a good one, too, to the centre of the ground, but one-handed the Footscray player flies. However, Footscray come out with it. It's down in their scoring zone. Now there's a chance to Slattery, who the redhead, he slips over at the last minute, allows Kane to pick up the ball. Kane is hotly tackled by Stewart, but he gets his kick. And the ball is just about the centre wing, favouring Footscray territory very, very slightly. Yes, it's almost coming back now towards the half-forward flank position. Here's the throw-in. Winnicke's in there, so is Ware and John Peck. It's Winnicke who gets the tap down. Oh, look at Teddy looking for a place to pass the ball to. Couldn't find anybody, and it's Uren clearing easily for Hawthorn. Down to the centre half-forward position, a chance for Law. Law overruns the ball. Mort is in there. Still Hawthorn into attack here. Peck passes back. Picked up by Schultz. Schultz, a hand pass out of trouble. It's going across towards the boundary. And there we see Brown picking up, sending it back to the goal square again, where Footscray should clear through the agency of Lee. Have done so towards the stand wing. And on the stand wing now we see some Fisher picking up and getting rolled. In possession of the ball, says the umpire, so the kick will go to Bryant, his wing opponent of Footscray. That's Bryant on his lonesome there, looking for a short pass, a lead, and he's got it too. The ball being taken by Graham Ian, who was roving a while back, and looks as though he might have gone back on the half-forward line now. Perhaps the flank, because Cam McPherson's on it. Marked by Winnicke, not allowed, says the umpire. Goes out to where Stead Hay picks it up. He can't get rid of it. Trying to come through with sheer face is Spargo. Runs near the boundary line, but not over. Takes his kicks as Spargo. Here's a chance for Footscray to get another goal here with a mark in front of the pack. A kick off the ground by Slattery. And it's Cooper, or Hill, Cooper who relieves for Hawthorn. Footscray, another chance here through Quarrell. Quarrell's left foot kick, though, goes over the line and out of bounds. Well, Reg, they just can't get it down to those goals.
No, Jeff, it appears to me that generally all round Hawthorn are the stronger side now, and they are tackling Footscray at every attempt they get the ball, and I think will win this game. Look at the dash of that boy going in just now. In the 3 Hawthorn to Uren, he's coming up the centre of the ground now with a nice long punt up to centre half forward position. It's going up to Charlie, my boy, Evans, to hold on.
Well, there's Charlie Evans, firm in defence as usual, and Uren, my word, what a great game he's playing, Mike.
He certainly is, Jeff. There's the ball down into the centre now. Footscray, as you can see, they're fumbling. Their players just don't seem to be able to hold those marks. Even Hobbs then, I wasn't too sure about that one. However, he plays on when the mark has been taken by Duff. Gives Footscray a great chance to score here. Boy, they need about 4 quick ones. Duff is about 30 yards out, almost in front. There's his kick off the side of the boot, and 1 point only is the result.
As Australia's leading lights, these 7 building societies have formed a bright new star, the National Permanent Network, with $4 billion in assets. A network with extra benefits for every Hotham investor. And Hotham remains a star in its own right, the brightest in Victoria. The National Permanent Network, Australia's new $4 billion superstar.
Here's another entertaining idea from Ballantyne, and it's a real beauty. The Ballantyne Natural Choice Range. Yogurt sultanas, tropical party mix, ambrosia fruit selection, cardamom nut selection, honey and nut granola. For goodness sake, eat naturally. You will with Ballantyne's Natural Choice, the natural alternative as a snack or for sheer enjoyment. Ha ha, there's no doubt about it. It's another Ballantyne winner.
Rather than showing the big bargains in small cars at Mini World, we'd like to show you our favourite holiday places. Because with a 1980 Commodore automatic for only $4,990, or a Cortina automatic wagon for a tiny $2,390, or a 75 Honda Civic for only $2,490, instead of driving yourself into debt, you could afford to drive to your favourite holiday spot more often. Phone Mini World and we'll bring the car to you.
It's the fury of the pace, it's the glory of the race, and you'll find it's so much more than what you thought.
It's Navy Cup night at Moonee Valley Harness Racing, the famous Navy Reserve Band, Super Top Harness Racing with Popular Arm, and of course a real night out. The Light Brigade Band at the Valley View Restaurant. Yes, you can dance, you can eat top food, back a winner. All this at Melbourne's #1 Friday night spot, and sailors in uniform, they'll be admitted free. Moonee Valley Harness Racing, first race 7:50, be there.
Congratulations will be in order for the Hawks. However, we'd like to take this opportunity of congratulating our director, Alf Potter. I'm sure all of you watching this telecast at home have enjoyed the pictures you've seen. They're the result of the great work done by our cameraman and our crew here, and especially the work of our director, Alf Potter. There's Killer Kane kicking out now, right to the centre of the ground. Up they go. Edwards almost pulled that one down. However, it's on the ground. A chance for Bryant here. Gets his foot to it, sends it to the centre-half forward position. Oh, virtually nobody home for Footscray. That gives MacArthur a chance to tear through there. It's all Hawthorn, as you can see. However, out it comes to Footscray now. It's Ian who kicks the ball down to the half-forward flank, over the line and out of bounds. There's a throw-in. Oh, Footscray, Ware missed that badly. However, it's on the ground. It's picked up now by Fisher. Fisher drives it up towards Hawthorn's half-forward flank. Schultz gets his hand to it over Graham Arthur, puts it over the boundary line. Once again, Herb has the opportunity of throwing in. There's the throw-in. Up they go. Whitner's in the ruck for Footscray. Gets it down. Ian not quick enough to get to the ball, and it goes out once again. It's on Hawthorn's half-forward flank. There you can see, you probably saw then the pattern of the game. One fellow looking after Schultz, and the other fellow going for the knockout. Makes it very, very hard for any ruckman. But John Schultz is struggling on. Good tactics by Hawthorn. In comes Schultz again. That time he almost got it. Went down heavily. The ball's up to the forward position for Hawthorn, and the mark has been pulled down there by Hill. Hill drives towards the teeth of goals. They set themselves up. They go. No mark pulled down. Hawthorn still trundling it on. Bernie Lee jumps on top of his opponent there. Boyles is in there also. Let's see what umpire Frank Swab is going to do with it. I'll have a bounce, chaps, he says. There's the bounce of the ball. Graham Arthur gets it. Comes down now where the kick is taken, and 1 point only. The Hawthorn bugler, you've probably read about him. He's having a great time here. Hawthorn 9-16, Footscray 6-7. Well, it looks like a miracle is needed, Bert.
They couldn't possibly pull it out, Mike. Not the way the game's going at the moment. Hawthorn's right on top, every department. There's 13 minutes more to go, and they're well on top, Hawthorn. No fears.
13 minutes actually gone, Bert. Yes, there might only be 13 minutes to go, too. There's the ball in the centre of the ground now. Hawthorn into attack once again. Winicky puts a funny old left foot to it. Up it goes. It's punched away there by Charlie Evans. Down on the ground again. Hawthorn, too strong. Morton Brown gets his boot to it. Sends it to the teeth of goals. Up they go. No mark pulled down. Footscray has the opportunity to clear here through Barry Ian. Comes around. He bounces the ball once, twice. Eventually puts his left foot to it. Drives it down to the wing position. There's a great race going on here between McKellar and Stead Hay, but the ball beats them both. There's a throw-in. Teddy Whitten in there for Footscray. Gets a knockdown too to McKellar. Oh, he's met by just about everybody you could imagine. A real reception committee was awaiting him as he came out with that ball. And eventually he'll take his kick. Well, he met some opposition with that one. He's on the wing position on the members' side of the ground. Here's his kick. Down towards the forward pocket. Nobody able to mark. It's on the ground. Law comes in defence for Hawthorn. Drives to the wing position. The mark is taken there by Spargo. Spargo handballs across very quickly to Barry Ian. Ian gets his kick down to the centre half forward position. Everybody has a chop at it. Nobody gets it. It's on the ground. Players going in. And eventually the free kick has been given to Charlie Stewart, the 19th man for Footscray, who came on. Footscray have lost two players, Beamish and Gardner. Stewart's kick, it's a drop kick, it's a high one, doesn't cover a great deal of distance, however it's right down into the forward zone. But Hawthorn drive them out once again to the half-forward flank. Here's a chance now for Bryant. He handballs across. Duff has it. Duff is trying to punch it across to Stewart. Can't do so. And eventually it's Cam McPherson who drives the Hawks out of danger to see Morton Brown marked there on the wing position on the outer side of the ground. Hawthorn into attack once again. Uren has it, running up on the half-forward flank, driving down towards the forward pocket where the mark is filled by Hill there. However, Footscray clearing now. Here's a chance for Fisher. Fisher picks up, drives right into the teeth of goal, and the mark is taken effortlessly by John Peck, the vice-captain. Full forward come Ruckman. Oh, goodness gracious me.
Well, Mike, there's an amazing thing. It is a goal. Now, it is a goal. It looks like as if it only made a point. I'm terribly...
Putting energy to good use is very important, especially physical energy. It can keep you fit and healthy. It can also keep Australia as a nation winning in the world of sport. And those are the reasons Esso have also contributed over $1 million to Australian sport in the past 5 years. You could say it's just another way Esso are helping develop Australia's natural resources.
What is it about Midas muffler shops?
The exhaust on this was making a shocking noise. It was really embarrassing. So I went to a Midas muffler shop, and they told me the muffler had snuffed it. Anyway, I sat down in the waiting room, and 20 minutes and a cup of coffee later, it was all fixed. With no charge for fitting the new muffler.
Come to a Midas muffler shop. We fit our mufflers free.
When your muffler snuffs it, take it to Midas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the premiere of a great new soft drink, the premiere of Diet Coke.
Introducing Diet Coke. You're gonna drink it just for the taste of it. Living good with Diet Coke. This is the one from Coca-Cola. We're gonna taste with just 1 calorie. Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke. It's the fury of the pace. It's the glory of the race. And you'll find it's so much more than what you thought.
It's Navy Cup night at Moonee Valley Harness Racing. The famous Navy Reserve Band, Super Top Harness Racing with Popular Arm, and of course a real night out. The Light Brigade Band at the Valley View Restaurant. Yes, you can dance, you can eat top food, back a winner. All this at Melbourne's #1 Friday night spot, and sailors in uniform, they'll be admitted free. Moonee Valley Harness Racing, first race 7:50, be there.
Behind, you could hear the the silence, if I may use the term, that came over the ground, because I think that everybody thought that he'd kick a point. When I said, goodness gracious me, I remember labelling him to kick a goal earlier in the match, and he went off the side of his boot.
Exactly that, Mike. Yeah, it's interesting to note, too, that people are starting to stream off the ground, even at this early period.
Well, here viewers can see history being made. Hawthorn well on the way to their first premiership ever. However, the Bulldogs are still in it. They're going down fighting. Into attack again. Whitten sets himself, flies high, but cannot take it. The judgment just wasn't there. Hawthorn clearing now. Plenty of Footscray fellas down there, but they can't do much with it, and the free kick goes Hawthorn's way to John Winicky. Winicky there, almost on the half-back flank on the outer side of the ground. His kick, he must be pretty tired. It would covered about 60 yards, 30 up and 30 down. The mark has been taken for Footscray out there on the half-forward flank on the outer side of the ground. Footscray back into attack. Right into the teeth this one goes. Oh, Whitten is swamped by Hawthorn opponents then. The ball is on the ground. It's picked up by Cunningham, it looks like. Cunningham drives out of danger. Two Footscray fellas fly for it, but eventually it must be Ware who will take the mark. Ware just wide of the centre, looking for Hobbs. Hobbs takes the mark. Hobbs is running into to goal for them, and it's through. It's through for Footscray. 18 minutes of this quarter have gone. There's the scoreboard. 10-16 to 7-7. 10-16 to 7-7. Well, I want to rattle on about 4 quickies, Bert, to be in it.
It'd be a miracle, Mike. I don't think they can do it, but of course it's not over yet until the final siren is rung.
There's the bounce of the ball now. Schultz gets the knockdown. However, it goes straight to Cooper. Cooper gets his boot to it, sends it up towards the half-forward flank. In they come now. Morton Brown gets it, left foots it up to the goal mouth. Mark not pulled down by Bernie Lee. Charlie Evans chips in and drives Hawthorn out of the danger zone. The ball is on the half-forward flank for Hawthorn on the outer side of the ground. Looks as if the 19th man for Hawthorn is coming on. John Kennedy must think that he's got it won, or perhaps somebody's injured. However, another goal to Hawthorn through Ian Morse. Screwed around on his left foot and popped it through. Just trying to, there's the scoreboard. Just trying to pick out who is going off for Hawthorn. The 19th man is on, that is Nalder. What a 19th man to have, Bert.
He's a beauty. He's a beauty, all right, going around
the outside. There's Nalder going, you just saw a glimpse of him then going around the outside.
And he's going to replace Cunningham.
Cunningham is going off. Well, Footscray not giving in. There's Hobbs with the ball in the centre of the ground, drives it down to the centre half-forward position. Whitten flies high, just can't hold it. However, Slattery is the one who takes that mark. Slattery's a fair distance out. He'd be 50 yards out from goal. Here he comes. There's his kick. Up the distance, not the direction. 1 point only is the result. Well, there's the scoreboard. I think the scoreboard tells the story. Hawthorn, had they kicked straight, it would have been a lot further in front. But they haven't, and here is Killicane to take the kick off. There's his kick to the outer side of the ground as Jeff Raymond and Reg Hickey resume the description.
Well, we said beforehand that we weren't going to nominate unless the scores were pretty discrepant who was going to be the winner, but at this stage I think we can safely say that Hawthorn have got themselves a premiership. Right, Alf? Yes, Alf Potter, our director, says we can nominate now, so... Well, gentlemen, Hawthorn have got themselves a premiership, eh?
I'd like to be sure of Tattersall.
Yeah. Well, all congratulations to them, John Kennedy and the boys. There's Footscray still battling on, but without any purpose at all. And they're being kept well out of trouble there by Stead Hay.
energy to good use is very important, especially physical energy. It can keep you fit and healthy. It can also keep Australia as a nation winning in the world of sport. And those are the reasons Esso have also contributed over $1 million to Australian sport in the past 5 years. You could say it's just another way Esso are helping develop Australia's natural resources.
Here's another entertaining idea from Ballantyne, and it's a real beauty. The Ballantyne Natural Choice Range. Yogurt sultanas, tropical party mix, ambrosia fruit selection, cardamom nut selection, honey and nut granola. For goodness sake, eat naturally. You will with Ballantyne's Natural Choice, the natural alternative as a snack or for sheer enjoyment. Ha ha, there's no doubt about it. It's another Ballantyne winner.
Rather than showing the big bargains in small cars at Mini World, we'd like to show you our favourite holiday places, because with a 1980 Commodore automatic for only $4,990, or a Cortina automatic wagon for a tiny $2,390, or a 75 Honda Civic for only $2,490, instead of driving yourself into debt, you could afford to drive to your favourite holiday spot more often. Phone Mini World and we'll bring the car to you.
There was a time when piles of cement, piles of sand and piles of screenings on your front lawn or driveway were inevitable for even the smallest job around the home. But now these handy bags of pre-mixed concrete and pre-mixed mortar will rid you of those piles forever. They're so simple, just add water. Suddenly 101 little household projects become very easy. Pre-mixed concrete and pre-mixed mortar. Just add water and say goodbye to those nasty piles forever.
Now the throw-in to take place on the half-forward flank. Footscray, attacking zone. Over his head, but Fisher comes out with the ball for... Oh, dear, dear, dear. Teddy Whitten went down then very solidly after Nalda, who'd just come on. Nalda has come on so that he could have a bit of a show. Teddy Whitten got the free kick, passed it across, a hand pass to Bryant, and I reckon Bryant's gone for holding the ball. No. Whether umpire Schwab at a case like this is being a bit lenient on him, I don't know, Reg, but he looked as though he was gone then.
I thought so, Jeff, too.
Yeah. Peck's in there for Hawthorn. He gets the tap down. Comes out. Oh, look at that. Look at that beautiful football. Very, very clever football on the part of Hawthorn, who are doing what they like in these closing stages of the game. Even Hoyles there didn't quite know what to do. Ware comes around with a try. Oh, look at this. Look at this inept football on the part of poor Footscray, where they did everything right last week. They can't do a thing right this week.
Well, Jeffy, I think they've been bustled by a far better and more intelligent side at the moment.
Yes.
That handball down along the ground here is beautiful. That
Yes, we mustn't say that Footscray have lost it, because Hawthorn have actually won it. Their football has been strong and on occasions brilliant. But I think strength is the keynote to their success, Reg.
Very much, and a lot of intelligence, Jeff, I think. A lot of intelligence. Now,
yes.
You've seen fellows tap the ball down along the ground here. Oh, yes, Alf, there's some paper dropping across your screen.
Yes.
There's coming down from upstairs. Some of the boys upstairs, Footscray, people are turning up their flags, perhaps, or something like that.
That was John MacArthur relieving for Hawthorn, getting it down to Colin Uren further downfield for Hawthorn. Still they're attacking. They reckon they haven't got enough on the board yet. Down into the full forward position where there's a chance for Law. Law couldn't mark the ball, and Footscray have cleared it back, only to see Uren in control again. Uren underruns it, but he'll pick it up again. I think he's got time to turn around, recover, turn out of trouble, get his left foot to the ball, put it right onto the half-forward flank for Hawthorn. 3 Hawthorn players there, one of them must get it. It'll be a kick for goal, and it could go through again for another goal, and it has. Nalda. What a handy player this is, Reg, to have coming on as your 19th man.
He's a handy boy and a 19th man, Jeff. He could be in my side any time, this chap, but still, that's just how strong Hawthorn are at the moment. Now they bring on, notice running around the boundary, Phil Hay, whom I think Hawthorn will deservedly give a run on the ball, because he's been a very great 19th or 20th man.
Yes, there he is now. He's just waiting to go on. Who's going to come off for Hawthorn? Academic interest only in the football now as to how much Hawthorn will win by. Brendan Edwards, who's been brilliant all day, gets the ball out onto the wing. However, Footscray could go into attack here through the person of Hoyles, their centre-half back. However, it's out of bounds. Both 19th and 20th were on at the start of this quarter for Footscray, and now Hill, it looks as though Hill has come off for Hawthorn, and Hay has gone on. That's P. Hay, not Stead Hay, has been on since the start of the match. Well, Footscray still going in hard. That's Bryant, number 37, with the ball. Getting it across to Teddy Whitten. Teddy Whitten unopposed. Elects for a short pass, which comes on. No, Graham Ian caught at centre-half forward. Hurled to the ground, and the kick must go to Hawthorn, and is. John MacArthur.
He's been a stalwart, Jeff, hasn't he?
Oh, he's played a wonderful game. He did pretty well on noughts and crosses once, too, as a matter of fact, as a contestant, Reg.
Yes,
Well, there's time on only to play. 25 minutes have gone. That's Bob Ware. We can see number 4 getting a free kick for Footscray. Ball comes back to him now. There's Ware's kick to the centre wing position. Fisher has a chance here for Hawthorn to put them into attack again. Gets his foot to the ball, sends it down to the full forward zone. Ware can't mark it, and coming out is Hay for the 20th man for Hawthorn. Gets caught in possession of the ball, but hand passes it across very well to Gary Young to see it go straight down the throat. Let's see who this is. At centre-half forward, Brown. Brown's come in from the flank. He's waving his arms about there, everything not to his satisfaction. Charlie Evans may be encroaching a bit on his mark. There's Brown's kick, and it's through for another goal to Hawthorn. Well, there are the scores on the board. 13-16 Hawthorn, Footscray 7-8. Thanks very much, Reg Hickey. It's been fun working with you. I think I'll give it away now. Mike Williamson, take it.
I see. Right. Well, as Jeff pointed out...
That's who I was barracking for.
It's all over bar the shouting, and the Bulldogs are still trying hard to, well, salvage what they can out of it. But even the luck of the game is going against them. The free kick will go to Stead Hayes there on the half-back flank. Stead puts the Hawks into attack again. John Schultz fails to mark. A great power in the first half, Schultz, but the backroom boys of Hawthorn found the answer to him in the second half. There is John now, gets the ball, drives it up towards the centre-half forward position. Nobody able to gain possession. Whitten comes in hard there. Through comes Duff for Footscray. He's trying. There seems to be a little bit of dissension further back between the two players. Not very matey at all, actually, Bert. Not too matey, but who would be now? After all, I'm right alongside you, sneaked in. Right now, into attack once again comes Hawthorn. They're not letting up one iota. They're going to make a real bird of this premiership. Johnny Hoyles clears for the Bulldogs down to the half-forward flank. A little wrestle going on, and it looks like Colin Uren will take the kick. Colin Uren just about in the centre of the ground, a little wide of the centre, favouring the outer side. There's his kick, right up towards where Teddy Whitten has the chance to mark. No, he spills that one. Teddy flicked past to Bobby Ware. Ware clears towards the outer side of the ground. Oh, hello, Quarrell dropped that one. Quarrell's been very quiet in the second half. Don't you think, Bert? Very quiet, John Quarrell.
Oh, yeah, John Quarrell's been very quiet, Mike. The whole Footscray side's been a bit quiet since half-time, of course. Hawthorn hasn't given them one chance.
Well, the brilliant Footscray, the speed that we saw in the first half is missing. If you'll remember back to the first half, I've no doubt you were amazed and delighted with Footscray's football, but since half-time, it's been non-existent. There is Slattery pulling down a lovely mark for Footscray.
Might be a bit far for him, Mike, this one, I think.
Could be now. He's pretty weary by now. He's about 40 yards out from goal. Coming in now to take his kick. It's got the distance, all right, but 1 point only is the result. Well, as I said earlier, history, you can see the scoreboard. The historic scoreboard here at the MCG. Hawthorn's first premiership flag coming up. They've been playing just over 29 minutes in this quarter. So Hawthorn, you can start deciding where to put that flag out there at Glenferrie Oval. There's a mark taken for Footscray on the half-back flank. Umpire Swab isn't going to pay it by the look of things. Let's see what he's going to do. He decides the ball up. There's the ball. The wren comes in. There's the final siren. The final siren. And Hawthorn are premiers for the year 1961. The first premiership for Hawthorn. Congratulations to them from all sporting fans. There is the scoreboard. Hawthorn 13-16-94. Footscray 7-9-51. The umpire was Frank Swab. Repeating.
And so a 43-point win in the 1961 Grand Final to Hawthorn, 13-16 to Footscray, 7-9. Brendan Edwards for Hawthorn, best on the ground in that. The goal kickers for Hawthorn, Brown 3, Mort and Law 2 each, of some famous names back in the 61 Grand Final. And Ted Whitten kicked 3 for Footscray. So 2 Grand Finals down, plenty to go, right through until 8 o'clock this morning when we start our big day of live football. Next up, the preliminary final from 1960. We'll take a break.
After a hard day's work, nothing beats a long, cold Carlton draft.
You'll find him somewhere back in nowhere. Way out there is where you'll find him. 50 dusty miles to go and 100 more behind him. There's nobody born can beat him on a horse that's bred to run. And he doesn't have to prove a thing, not one damn thing to anyone. Give me a beer, a Carlton draft. Want the coldest one you've got. I've got a thirst that's gonna need some special care. Give me a beer, a Carlton draft, 'cause it's brewed to be the best. With a Carlton draft, you know the flavor's there. Carlton draft's another name for real draft beer. There's nothing beats a long, cold Carlton draft.
Now everybody knows Canberra can.
Canberra can show you an easy way to get a video recorder. Rent it, with no long-term contract. And at any time, you can take advantage of Canberra's special rental purchase offer. You receive 50% of your first-year payments off the purchase price. Yes, 50% off the purchase price. And no long-term rental contract. Ring Canberra now for an obligation-free in-home demonstration.
Yes, Canberra can.
It's the fury of the pace. It's the glory of the race. And you'll find it's so much more than what you thought.
You know, there's something about harness racing at Moonee Valley that gets me. It'll get you too, should you try it one Friday night out there at Moonee Valley. Look, you've got top whining and dining, really top racing, and the atmosphere. They're friendly people, the harness racing people. So I'll see you at Moonee Valley Friday nights for the harness racing.
Harness racing is our favorite family sport.
2:45 Sunday, 7 Sport takes you live to Football Park in Adelaide for the South Australian National Football League's preliminary final, when the Sturt Double Blues face up to a determined Norwood side. The South Australian preliminary final, exclusive to 7 Sport.
And exclusive to 7 Sport is tonight's and this morning's Grand Final Marathon. OK, let's go back now to 1960, to the final series. The first semi-final, Collingwood and Essendon, a 9-point win to Collingwood. The second semi-final of 1960 saw Melbourne go straight into the grand final, beating Fitzroy by 60 points. And so the stage was set for the 1960 preliminary final between Collingwood and Fitzroy. Let's go to the last quarter.
Here we go now, the first bounce for this, the start of the last quarter. It's Gavlich who gets a big knockdown, but it's Powell coming up off the side, off the ground, goes off the side of his foot over onto the wing, where it's McMaster Smith who actually kicked it the wrong way for Fitzroy. Now it's Campbell in underneath it, taps it over to McMaster Smith. He is scragged as he goes for his kick, and there is a free kick to McMaster Smith. Incidentally, this player, you may see him limping there, he seems to have had a lot of trouble with his legs during that last quarter, and would appear that he is being troubled a lot by cramp. Rather unfortunate at this stage, looks as though he's rather tied up. A nice kick up to the half-forward line where it's punched out solidly, kicked off the ground down to where Lynch it is, takes a safe one for Fitzroy. He swings over, puts a nice kick up into the centre-half forward position. It drops, and Wright tries to tap it over to Wongarello. He kicks it off the ground over towards Slocum, and Slocum's handballs over to Vernon. Vernon, he tried to tap that one over to Abrahams, but it was smothered. It's now marked by Turner, it is. Turner, the Collingwood centre man, down towards the half-forward flank, where it's Hewson, cuts in nicely. He's going up the ground. Oh, he had ample time to do something with that, but he got a little hasty, and it's gone off the side of his foot to go out of bounds in front of the Graysmith stand. Beers was quite content to let Hewson go up the ground there. The throw in there on Fitzroy's half-forward line as Vernon gets a tap down to Delante, takes it for Collingwood. His left foot kick goes over the line on the centre wing position on the inner side of the ground. Lesser scores. It's still 7 points of difference in Collingwood's favour, at least Fitzroy's favour. Gale and Harvey for Fitzroy, Gabelich for Collingwood. Aston picks it up nicely, his left foot over towards Powell. He's got a nice black face at this stage. Abrahams actually threw it out to Powell, and Powell goes up the ground with a lovely kick, and it's right up into the goal square. Oh, it's still in play. Well, actually, the ball was kicked through the goal by Slocum, but apparently the whistle was blown prior to that, because you may have noticed how the other players stopped. It's out of bounds right on that behind post. Harrison taps down to Henderson, and Henderson, he's quite content to kick it through for 1 point to... Actually, the Collingwood player kicked it through for 1 point to Fitzroy.
And the score goes Collingwood 7-5-47, Fitzroy 8-8-56.
It's Rosenbrock to kick out for Collingwood. Quite a nice kick on that over towards the outer wing. Gale, a two-handed punch back into play. Campbell picks up nicely, puts it up on the full forward line where it's Rose. Handballs back out wide. Campbell again picks up nicely. He's tackled. Had to handball hurriedly as Gabelich gets the kick this time right down into the centre of the ground where it's Barclay takes a safe one. Barclay, the Fitzroy centre-half back, directing play straight back up the ground to the centre-half forward position where Vernon takes a nice mark at centre-half forward. I would say Fitzroy have been shading Collingwood in the aerial duels. Vernon's kick, it's a nice one too, up into the full forward position, but it's not Wiedemann, it's Gabelich that took a solid one there in the full-back position for Collingwood. As Collingwood defenders have held Fitzroy out rather well. Fitzroy have been attacking pretty constantly in this second half of the game. Gabelich's kick straight down the ground, it's a long one, right into the centre position where it's Powell. Just failed to hold it as Harvey came in. He picks up, but he's tackled and takes a dive in the mud, and he'll take a free kick. I think there's a little bit of a stage with that. The crowd in the outer seem to think the same way. Harvey puts his kick over towards the half-forward flank where it's marked nicely by Beers, is it? No, not Beers, Gray the wingman for Collingwood. His kick is a nice one too, back into the centre of the ground where it drops off the pack. Turner has it. He handballs to Harrison. Harrison just stands there, takes his kick, but it's marked nicely by Mackenzie. Mackenzie transfers play straight back up to Fitzroy centre-half forward position where it's Delante returning the ball once again. It's kick for kick at this stage. It's Chapman, he's tackled, but he moves away nicely, and his kick down into the full forward position for Collingwood. Nice spoil by Henderson, but Burns is picking up here. But Lynch comes in with a solid kick off the ground, puts it wide over on the half-back flank, picks up neatly, and his kick up into the centre wing position where it's... can't pick that dark one there. It's O'Dwyer, I think it is. No, Reeves, it was the little back pocket player. He's black at this stage. The ball's in the centre of the ground now, and it's, a nice handball over there to Harrison going straight down the ground. His kick right down into the full forward position, and it spills off the back to go over the line out of bounds right on Collingwood's forward line, just beside the behind post. Fellows in the ruck, puts it out wide in the direction of Harrison. He gets his kick in the middle of the pack, but it's Murray now coming up the ground. He's tackled, but he plays on strongly, and as Chapman comes through the other way, he's tackled and the ball is dead underneath Chapman. It'll be a ball up on, or just forward of the half-forward line. A throw-up that is today. It's not a ball up. He's been throwing it up all the time. There's a wild kick in the pack there. As Gray it is, he hooks it over into the full forward position, and Henderson quite content to kick it over the line there for Fitzroy. Looks like Gray is on the ball at this stage for Collingwood. Barclay tackled, and he handballs desperately as Harrison follows it up nicely. He's putting it over towards Turner, and Turner, as he kicks, he's pushed from the side, and the ball will go out of bounds in Collingwood's half-forward position. Throw in once again. Bellows a big knockdown in the direction of Gray, but he could not hold it. There's still a big pack of players as Murray comes through. His kick goes high, out towards the half-back flank, but it's marked by Beers. I think he'll pay the mark to Beers. He's got the best grip. Yes, he's standing guard to let Beers to go back to take his kick. Beers would be, well, just forward of the half-forward flank position, would be from about 55 yards out on quite an angle, kicking towards the It's a nice kick. It's right up into the goal square, and it's touched right on the behind post. I think it swung right on the post, would have been a point had it not been touched.
Carpet and comfort in your car naturally go together. Precision moulded car carpets are so new, so with it, and they're being fitted to cars right throughout Australia. The secret's in Super Trim's press moulding process. Precision moulded car carpets are available in a wide range of colours, so why not call Super Trim now on 874-5599. Better still, call in and see them Saturday or all day Sunday at 27 Rooks Road, Nunawading. Precision moulded car carpets, now available from Repco Outlet.
It's the fury of the pace. It's the glory of the race. And you'll find it's so much more than what you thought.
It's Navy Cup night at Moonee Valley Harness Racing. The famous Navy Reserve Band, super top harness racing with popular arm and, of course, a real night out. The Light Brigade Band at the Valley View Restaurant. Yes, you can dance, you can eat top food, back a winner. All this at Melbourne's #1 Friday night spot, and sailors in uniform, they'll be admitted free. Moonee Valley Harness Racing, first race 7:50, be there.
As Australia's leading lights, these 7 building societies have formed a bright new star, the National Permanent Network, with $4 billion in assets. A network with extra benefits for every Hotham investor. And Hotham remains a star in its own right, the brightest in Victoria. The National Permanent Network, Australia's new $4 billion superstar.
What you're about to see will shock you. The jarring shock of heel strike can cause serious injury and pain to sportsmen and women, or anyone often on their feet, like heel soreness, Achilles tendinitis, leg injuries, and backache. That's where new Superlean fits in. Lightweight inner soles and heel pads to take the brunt of the impact and save you the shock. Superlean. Shock absorbers for your feet.
I'm looking into the world of the stand-up comic, and it's already getting out of hand. I look like becoming a victim.
How would you like to face a big hostile audience and try to make them laugh?
Please keep that applause going.
Mike will as he tries Sunday night. Will he get pelted with rotten fruit? A top giggle, it's called.
Collingwood taking their score 7-6-48 to Fitzroy 8-8-56, and it's 8 points the difference. It's over onto that half-back flank position. It's been tapped out to where it's Gavlich handballed over to Campbell, who kicked it. We didn't handball to Campbell, but it was Campbell that got the kick for Fitzroy, kicked off the ground, but now Reeves has sent play back onto the centre wing position where Hutchison gets his left foot over to Burns in the Turner in the centre of the ground. Turner takes quite a safe one for Collingwood. His kick goes right down into the full forward position where it drops over the back as O'Dwyer swings his left foot as he is slung, but it's 1 point only.
Collingwood now going to 7-7-49, Fitzroy 8-8-56, 7 points the difference.
It's Chapman on the wing for Collingwood. That would account for seeing Gray at different parts of the ground at this stage. That was Henderson's kick-off, and it was a rather weak one. It may have eluded the pack there. Was that touch? Did you notice, Jeff? Oh, it's only a throw-in. I thought it might have been a free kick. The throw-in on Collingwood's half-forward line as Gavlich takes it over the back. His kick screws off into the pocket and will go out of bounds in the forward pocket for Collingwood. Yes, as I was saying, it's Chapman on the centre wing position and Gray on the half-forward flank and taking his turn at roving. Murray defending strongly for Fitzroy to where Gablett's playing a kick behind here, but he hooks it out the back, and his kick is, once again, it's gone off the side of his foot, out of bounds in that forward pocket position. Well, it looks like developing into quite a... Well, it has been a good struggle all day, and it looked like seeing it right throughout this last quarter. A throw in as the crowd start to roar, and it's Barclay kicks it off the ground to where O'Dwyer, he's tackled, but it's kicked out to Gablich once again behind the play. Now he handballs rather desperately, but Powell coming in nicely for Fitzroy, but he is tackled. He's caught really, but the play goes on. A handball out wide to, I think it was Stripping underneath there. No, Burns it was. But now it's McMaster Smith broken away. His kick goes up to the centre half forward position where it's Spilt Vernon. All handballs out desperately in the direction of it was Reeves who cut in nicely for Collingwood and transferred play back down onto Collingwood's half forward flank. Murray has it again. He handballs. It's back now to Lynch. Over towards Campbell, at least Knight. But Reeves once again, he's defending well for Collingwood, has been playing well for them all day. He's a little hard to pick too, Reeves. He's pretty black, or his nicks are black. But he's been right in the thick of it. There's a throw in, or at least a throw up on the centre wing position on the outer side of the ground. It's coming down now onto Collingwood's forward line where it's marked nicely by Barclay. Well, Fitzroy's key players have been figuring well in the aerial drills this afternoon. A big improvement on last week. Barclay's kick, not a particularly good kick. It's drifted towards the centre, where it's kicked off the ground and to be marked by, I think it may be Rose. I think it is Rose for Collingwood. Right, I just couldn't pick that player. It's down in the centre half forward position. It's been handballed out wide to Hutchison. He comes down the ground now and he steadies it, but he's hooked it over. But it goes to Dwyer, and Dwyer takes a nice mark. That was a nice one as he was tackled solidly by Harvey. And he took a nice one in that full forward position. He's only about 30 yards out straight in front. And it looks all right. The crowd are going mad. There's one to Dwyer.
Valentine present the new Pick Your Pack. Recommended retail price still only $1. Made from real chocolate, including almonds, peanuts, sultanas, fruit and nuts. Pick Your Pack at your friendly milk bar. I reckon Pick Your Pack is the best chocolate value in Australia. And it's still only $1. I don't know how they do it. Pick Your Pack. Yes, it's the new Valentine. Pick Your Pack. See it. Buy it at your favorite store. Valentine, proudly Australian.
IBM put a lot of what it knows about computers into the IBM personal computer. Not to make it complicated, but to make it simple. So it's easy to understand and easy to use. IBM made its personal computer to help a person be more productive, to help a person be more creative. And those are good reasons for a person to feel good. The IBM personal computer, another small computer from IBM.
Do something for yourself. Join the Army Reserve.
Are you fed up with annoying biting insects that always spoil your outdoor fun? Not anymore. Bug Zapper is here. Bug Zapper's ultraviolet light attracts insects like a magnet, eliminating them from around your pool, barbecue, patio, and backyard. Bug Zapper, completely safe, easy to install, weather-resistant to rain and sun. Bug Zapper effectively kills insects over an area up to 1 acre. Throw away those spray cans. Get a Bug Zapper. 3 sizes from your nearest Mitre 10, Home Saver, or Pro Store.
Play's been in progress now for 11 minutes.
It's a throw up right in the middle of the mud patches. Gablich gets a beauty. Right down towards Wiedemann. He taps it over wide where it's kicked off the ground by Fitzroy. Fellows trying to pick it up in the mud, but it looks like being another throw up right in that. Oh, they're slipping and sliding everywhere. 1 point the difference and half the quarter gone. As Fellows, which Gale got that tap. It's been handball out towards Aston. Aston and Chapman it is, but Delante, no, Vernon gets the kick off the ground, and Fripp coming through solidly, boots it back the other way. But Campbell's in the lead of the ball. He picks up neatly. He's going round the inner wing position, hooks it out nicely up towards McMaster Smith, but it's marked solidly by Rosenbrock, the fullback in front of Wright. It was not McMaster Smith. Rosenbrock's kicked back into the centre half-back position, where it's Gavlich who'll pick up his handball again, but Harvey gets a big strong punch. This time it's Rose, but he's tackled and handballs over to Reeves as Reeves goes down the ground, and it's a nice kick right over the centre line. Gray just failed to hold it. Murray's driving desperately, but it's Gray, taps it over towards Wiedemann. He gathered it in nicely, handballed it to Turner, and Turner kicks off the ground. But Henderson, it picks up nicely and transfers play back over onto the inner side of the ground, where it's Chapman and Campbell. Aston coming through with a wild kick, just failed to get it. As Campbell once again, his kick off the ground goes out of bounds on the centre wing position. Hill is on, is he? Did you pick up who was off, Eric? Just a matter of interest. It's Burns now breaking down the ground. His kick right down into the forward pocket. It's over the back of the pack as Murray comes through. He holds it on the line. Rather dangerous there for him to hold, because if he lost possession, there would nobody be between the pack there and the goal. To throw in right on Collingwood's forward line, just round the behind post. As Wiedemann comes in, tries to get that knock, but Mackenzie kicks off the ground for Fitzroy. It's right over there to Hutchison and Knight, and Knight's kick puts it off, out of bounds on, would be just forward of the half-forward flank for Collingwood on the outer side. It's Gale and Wiedemann. Gale gets a knock, but it's O'Dwyer again at the back of the pack. His left foot kick has gone over into the opposite forward pocket, where it's right on the line, and umpire Irving rules it's just a throw-in. I thought it may have been a free kick there to Beers, as he is tackled solidly by Mackenzie. The throw-in. Fallows puts it down the direction of Beers. It's been kicked off the ground by Powell, but Turner, he picked up, got his kick, and he's got a free kick as well. He'll take the ball, come back for a free kick to be taken by Turner on the half-forward flank for Collingwood. Yes, Wright still in that full forward position, Eric, yes. Turner's kick, it's a nice one. It'll go right up by the behind post there, and it's marked. It's marked by Wiedemann, it is. Gavlich, I'm sorry. Gavlich took that mark there right on the behind post. He'll be pushed around, I think, by umpire Irving, although still a comparatively easy shot from this position, as there still seems to be ample space between the goals for a right footer. Accuracy is all that's needed here. Distance will not worry him. He's coming round. It must be play on. He can be tackled, and he's hooked it back out of bounds.
An average 5-year-old mower has about 24 moving parts when they move. Flymo has 3, and they're guaranteed to move. Flymo, your next mower.
Although we may offer you a choice of hams, you really have only one choice. Lean, tender, juicy ham. Even our smallest baked ham has to be sugar-cured and gently smoked for at least 2 days before we'll put our name on it. So no matter which ham you choose, you can be absolutely sure you've made the right choice. You see, at Mayfair, we're just as choosy as you are.
On Sunday night, a sweeping adventure that begins on the white snows of the Arctic and continues deep below the freezing surface of the North Atlantic and into the corridors of the world's decision-makers.
10,000 feet conducting sonar search section 20.
I still don't know what you're up to.
It was a secret. That's what I'm telling you. Nobody knew about it.
God himself, they said, couldn't sink her.
In 1912, she hit an iceberg and went to the bottom. And now it is time to raise her.
Are you talking about raising the Titanic?
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Mark.
Raise the Titanic. They risked their lives and millions of dollars in the greatest salvage attempt the world has known. For the first time on television, this spectacular and thrilling movie adventure, Sunday night, 8:30.
Well, that takes the scores to level. That's the first time Collingwood's been up with them for a while, Jeff, wouldn't it?
Yes, in this final quarter, it seems that Fitzroy have had the run of the ball and have played over Collingwood in most positions in the ground. Collingwood are now attacking and attacking desperately with about 10 minutes left to play.
It's Henderson whose kick goes over onto that half-back flank, out off the back of the pack. It's picked up nicely by Harvey. His left foot goes up onto the half-forward flank, where it's Abrahams, taps over to Slocum. Slocum gets the punch further afield, but it's Delante who picked up. He in turn has tackled, and it's gone off further towards Fitzroy's goal. Delante still trying to pick it up. His handball is rather desperate, but now it's going over onto the line where Wright was trying hard to save it from going out of bounds. I think that information we had that Hill was on the ground was wrong, because Wright is still in that full forward position. It's Vernon, but he misses it. It goes over the back, but Vernon gets the kick off the ground, but it'll be marked by Willett. Looks like Willett's come up onto the ball, and Gablich down in the full forward position. That's a good move on Collingwood's part, because this is a good player, this lad Willett. His kick wasn't a good one, though, as Campbell comes up, picks up nicely, and he shoots for goal, and it's 1 point only. Well, there was a bad let-in by Collingwood. Lucky to get out of it with only 1 point deficit, as there was nobody within 30 yards of the goal when that ball was kicked. Rosenbrock kicking off now, his kick practically straight down the centre, as Powell gets a strong punch down towards Wright. Wright picks up, he steadies, and we'll wait for it. It's right up. 1 point only. I wouldn't have thought he could have hooked it as acutely as that. It's 1 point only for Fitzroy, taking them now to a 2 point lead. What's the time position, Jeff?
About 8 minutes to go, Bill. We see some of the policemen coming onto the ground now, which is always an indication that it's getting out of place.
I'm sorry, Jeff. Rosenbrock's kick over onto that half-back flank, where once again it's Campbell who picks up from the pack, has a boot at it off the ground, and goes out of bounds on a little forward of Fitzroy's half-forward flank. 8 minutes to play, Jeff. Ooh, it's going to be really interesting. There's 2 points lead by Fitzroy and 8 minutes left to play. As it is Reeves once again. He's kicked down to Turner in the centre for Collingwood, playing well for Collingwood here. He's moving over onto his left foot. You watch him now swing over left footer's natural tendency. Down towards Wiedemann at centre-half forward, and he took a nice one there. Wiedemann took a nice one in front of Barclay. Actually, one of the few kicks that Wiedemann has had today. But he's the type of player that could lift Collingwood in these last few minutes. His kick in turn has gone right down the full forward position, where Gablich just failed to hold it, but it's great, picked up neatly right into the square, where it's practically marked by Beers, but it's rushed through for 1 point. Oh, that was lucky for Fitzroy that time. Beers all but held that. It was only the weight of the pack, I think, that jolted the ball out of his hands, and he was right in the square. Another point to Collingwood, taking them 1 point closer to Fitzroy.
8-9, 57 Collingwood, 8-10, 58 Fitzroy. 1 point the difference with 7 minutes to go.
And it's Henderson to kick out, and the players aren't very, very far back, as Henderson not getting a great deal of distance, although that one was a better one. Up onto the half-back line, it drops over the back, and Vernon kicks off the ground. It's Campbell who's trying, at least Knight, who was trying to follow that up, but he couldn't. It was kicked back by the Collingwood player, as Barclay in turn booted it up to the centre-half forward position. Abraham's off the ground, and here's a chance, as Gale finds speed, but it's a Collingwood player, Henderson, who boots it over to go out of bounds on Fitzroy's half-back flank. That's the fastest I've seen Alan Gale move for a long while. I think he could smell those goals as he chucks that. There's a throw in. It's Fellows over the top. He has 2 bites at it, and he puts it back out of bounds in the same position. Well, this is a fitting climax to what has been a very good game right throughout the afternoon. Gale once again. The ball drops down in front of the pack there as they struggle desperately, but it's rushed over the line once again, out of bounds in the same position. Fitzroy quite content to let it go out of bounds at this stage, although they still need more than 1 point lead. Fellows and Gale, but Gale seems to be hooking it the wrong way, but Campbell follows it up nicely. His kick goes up to where Abraham's failed to hold it, and he's lost sight of it. Henderson is tackled by Abrahams, and it slipped out the back. Oh, there's a dive on, as the Collingwood player Chapman put it up to where it's marked by Vernon in the centre of the ground for Fitzroy. Vernon's kick back up into the centre-half forward position. 3 Collingwood players going for it. They all spilled it. There's a kick off the ground there, but it can't get out of the pack. Abraham's handballs to Aston. Aston's kick up into the square. It's Reeves on his own. He picks up nicely. Ever reliable. He's going straight down the ground. A nice kick. It'll be marked by Fallows in the centre half-back position for Collingwood.
He's just played steadily all day, Bill.
Oh, he has, Jeff. He's turned them back time and time again. Fallows kicks straight down the ground into that, just clear of the centre position where Harvey all but took the mark. As it's to Collingwood player, hooks it back as Harvey goes for it once again with Wiedemann. This time it's Turner. His kick goes down. That's marked safely by Henderson. Henderson marks in front of Gabelich between the half-forward and the forward line as he transfers play over onto that outer wing. It's off the pack there as once again it's Gray. Picks up nicely for Collingwood. His kick back into the centre half-forward position where Barclay just failed to hold it. This time it's McKenzie, but he's pushed as he went to handball, and it'll be a ball up. It's underneath a pack of 3 or 4 players. All Fitzroy's defenders battling desperately at this stage to hold Collingwood out, and they're doing quite a good job. There's a throw up again as Fallows and Harvey, but Chapman has it. He handballs over to where Harvey gives it a big punch. It's Lynch, tried to tap it over to Waston. It'll go to Waston, but he just failed to get the run on it as Delante, left foot. Oh, it's a bit of overhead there as it goes to Beers. Beers' tackle. Oh, he said play on, as it's Campbell, I think, who hooks it round to go out of bounds on the centre wing position on the inner side of the ground. That was a bit unlucky for Beers. He seemed to be held after he got rid of the ball. But still it's a throw in. Fallows, Gale and Harvey. Over the back, and it's Willett tried to break through as Campbell kicks off the ground over to where Knights picks up nicely. His kick up in the direction of Rose. He failed to hold it. His players hooked out the back where it's stripped this time, going straight down the ground. It's a nice kick into that centre half-forward position where Gabelich. Oh, Gabelich has taken some marks in this quarter. There was a nice strong one with this wet greasy ball, and his kick, it was touched by the man on the mark, but it's getting a lot of ground as it goes over the back to where Beers pops it through for 1 point only. Oh, there was a bad miss.
At this stage of the game, Collingwood, with that point to Beers, go on to 8 goals, 10, 58. Fitzroy, 8-10, 58, and about 2.5 minutes left to play. What a thrilling and exciting climax this is to what has been a very, very interesting and exciting game.
IBM put a lot of what it knows about computers into the IBM personal computer, not to make it complicated, but to make it simple. So it's easy to understand and easy to use. IBM made its personal computer to help a person be more productive, to help a person be more creative. And those are good reasons for a person to feel good. The IBM personal computer, another small computer from IBM.
They say I'm the biggest ham around. Well, it takes the biggest to know the best. And my vote goes to these terrific Mayfair hams. All sizes, all price ranges, and with Christmas coming on, you've just got to have Mayfair in the house. There'll be lots of friends and relatives around, God bless them, and that's no time for a ham that turns out to be a turkey. Mayfair, they're just as juicy as you are.
Who's the biggest turkey around, Dougie?
Welcome to Scotland. Here you will not be a stranger for long, but as you travel through our countryside or linger a while in our historic towns and villages, you will always be amongst friends.
Here's to Foster's, it's true blue. Australia's beer that grew and grew, and now it's enjoyed all around the world. All around the world you're gonna hear this word.
Among people famous for their hospitality, your Foster's is making more friends every day.
Foster's Vodka, it's got the flavor that's taken it all around the world.
Now, Sheen make high-precision videotapes. Great picture, great colour. Insist on Sheen high-precision videotape. Grand final night, 7 turns on the entertainment. At 6:30, join us for the energy, the excitement, the sell-out concert performance from London's Royal Albert Hall, the kids from Fame. And then at 8 o'clock, it's 7 Sports special football feature. That was the season that was. The moments of glory and those of defeat. A close-up look at the memorable highlights from season 83. At 9:30, we bring you more great action with a replay of the 1983 BFL Grand Final. And throughout the night, you'll join the winners and the losers live for their celebrations and commiserations. One day in September, exclusively yours through 7 Sport.
Very disappointed player as he ran back from that position. He looked a certainty to kick a goal there, but it's Henderson's kick over onto that half-back flank on the outer side of the ground again. As the pack fly for its Turner in underneath it. His kick is smothered. It's kicked off the ground by the Fitzroy player. It was Lynch. Back over to where Beers hooks it up the back, but McKenzie coming through nicely, picks up, and he's right on the line, and his kick goes off his foot to go out of bounds, round just, or would be on the half-back flank position for Fitzroy on the inner side of the ground. Well, the scores are level, and as Jeff says, it's a beauty. Has been a terrific game all day, one which both sides could be proud of, and I think in Fitzroy's position, they have thoroughly redeemed themselves in the eyes of the public. Here's a throw-in, as it's fellows Gale and Harvey again. Kicked off desperately, but it ricocheted to go off the pack to go out of bounds once again in the same position. Only minutes left to play, and the scores are still level. Identical scores, 8 goals, 10 each. Oh, anybody's punched that, but Harvey took the rebound. It's O'Dwyer this time, breaks away. His kick's right up into the full forward position. It spills over the back, where it's come out the back again, where it's Turner, but his kick's smothered nicely as Barclay comes in and puts a nice long one in right up onto that half-back flank position again to go out of bounds. Well, all that looked dangerous as Turner swung out the back onto his left foot, but the Fitzroy defender smothered it beautifully, and it went over towards Barclay. The throw in again, Harvey taps down to where Chapman punches out to Gray. Gray's kick back into that full forward position, practically marked by the Collingwood player, but it drops in the pack as handballed out in the direction of its Knight at least. His kick goes along the ground. Oh, the Fitzroy player, McKenzie it was, he's tackled as he took a little long to kick it. Hutchison's left foot down into the full forward position. Oh, it's at Beers' feet, and Beers hooks it, and it looks all right. It's 1 point, but it's a valuable one at this stage.
And that could be the point to win the game for Collingwood, because there's only about 60 seconds left to play, and Collingwood now go into the lead. 8 goals, 11 behind, 59 points. Fitzroy, 8-10, 58.
Well, what a finish at this stage, with Collingwood attacking constantly in these last few minutes. The ball straight up the centre of the ground now as O'Dwyer once again puts Collingwood into play. It's over the back. It's trouble here as Beers has it again. Oh, but it's smothered. Murray trying desperately to keep them out, and there's players falling in on top of the ball there. Look at Collingwood. Look at Wiedemann waving the players down onto the ball. He's bringing fellows down. They're going to smother the play right on their forward line at this stage. It's tapped out to Beers again. His kick is once again smothered. This time it's Burns who has it. He steadies, and there it is. There's the goal. That's the climax. That's the fighting climax by Collingwood. Well, that makes it very difficult for Fitzroy at this stage.
And you can expect the siren any minute now, any second now, in fact.
Well, that's Burns' third goal for the day, and the goal that looks like making it safe for Collingwood. A rather similar pattern to the finish against Essendon a few weeks back, where they got to this 7 or 8 point lead. What is it at present? It's 7 point lead. And the ball is right in the centre of the ground with players struggling desperately. It's up on Fitzroy's half-forward line now as Rose gets the kick, but there's been an infringement. It's a free kick to Slope. Well, look at the Fitzroy players getting anxious. Oh, look, it's remarkable now how there's a Fitzroy player not running to pick that ball up with time running away from them. Slocum's kick up into the full forward position, where a wild punch by Vernon. It's over towards McMaster Smith. He screws it, but it's 1 point. No, maybe out of bounds. Out of bounds. Well, a point would have been handy, and then been interesting to see if they could have got that other goal. I think a draw would have been a fitting climax, Jeff. Do you think?
It certainly would have,
Still,
Bill.
it's not over yet. It's a throw-in right on the behind post. It's over the back of the pack, and it's screwed through. Well, it's 1 point only. There's the 1 point. I think it was put through by Campbell, but that makes it interesting now with 1 goal of difference. If Fitzroy can come back from this kick-in and get the equaliser, I think everybody would be quite pleased. It's Rosenbrook now to kick out for Collingwood, kicking over towards the outer side of the ground. And it's not a bad kick, but it's right out wide. He's kept it well out in the line as the ball goes out of bounds on that half-back flank position. Well, Fitzroy don't want it to go out of bounds at this stage. They've got to keep it well into the ground to attempt to score. It's over the back as Campbell breaks clear again. He handballs over to Vernon, but he fails to get it. Vernon missed the punch, and it's O'Dwyer struggling desperately as the ball is being forced or still being kicked off the ground. It's gone over into Fitzroy's forward pocket as McMaster Smith. This time it's Campbell again, has a shot, but it's Henderson in there. Henderson just let it go through for 1 point there. Henderson had the goals covered nicely for Collingwood. Well, now here's the position. If Fitzroy can come back, it looks like this last 5 minutes it's all Fitzroy, and prior to that it was all Collingwood. Well, what a ding-dong struggle it is. Rosenbrook wiping his foot. He's going to sink this slipper into this one. He's going to kick it 60 yards, but it didn't. It only went about 40, and there may have been a free kick there as it goes over the back where Gale handballs out towards Knight. His kick goes along the ground. It can't get through the players, though, as the Collingwood players push it over the line, out of bounds on that half-back flank position once again. Well, they've had enough time to come back, Jeff, but they just can't seem to click. There goes the siren. Well, what a magnificent game. The scores, Collingwood 9 goals, 11-65. Fitzroy 8 goals, 12-60.
And so a 5-point win to Collingwood over Fitzroy in the 1960 preliminary final. They went on, of course, that year to meet Melbourne in the grand final, but it was all Melbourne, and they had a very convincing win in the grand final that year. Melbourne 8-14-62, Collingwood 2-2-14. Next up, the interstate match at the 1961 Carnival. We'll take a break.
Here's another entertaining idea from Ballantyne, and it's a real beauty. The Ballantyne Natural Choice Range. Yogurt sultanas, tropical party mix, ambrosia fruit selection, cardamom nut selection, honey and nut granola. For goodness sake, eat naturally. You will with Ballantyne's Natural Choice, the natural alternative as a snack or for sheer enjoyment. There's no doubt about it. It's another Ballantyne winner.
Inside the wheels of your car, your brakes are working hard, but little things do go wrong. Fluid leaks, parts wear out, overheating occurs. Your brakes become less efficient. Every brake system needs a Payton's Brakes checkup every 6 months to find the little faults before they become big ones. It's only $6, and it's good to know your brakes are safe. Payton's Brakes are the brake specialists. We have been for a long time. Check in for a checkup. See Payton's Brakes for clutches too.
This beautiful JDEC security door, only $99 fitted. Yes, for a few more days only, JDEC can offer you this beautiful security door, the great price of $99 fitted. For only $99 because they make it. That's right. You buy direct from the manufacturer, JDEC, and you save. JDEC security door, only $99 with an automatic closer and Whitco double-sided key lock. Yes, the last day's at $99, and yet still more. The $99 includes measure, quote, and fitting. The lot for only $99. Ring JDEC on 555-2988. Carpet and comfort in your car naturally go together. Precision molded car carpets are so new, so with it, and they're being fitted to cars right throughout Australia. The secret's in Super Trim's press molding process. Precision molded car carpets are available in a wide range of colors, so why not call Super Trim now on 874-5599. Better still, call in and see them Saturday or all day Sunday at 27 Rooks Road, Nunawading. Precision molded car carpets, now available from Repco Outlet.
Mike Willis's most provocative film since Kids of the Cross. Strippers, a bold expose of the women and men who shed their inhibitions as easily as they shed their clothes. Strippers, at the special time, Tuesday, 9:30.
And now from grand finals to interstate football. The Carnival of 1961, it was held in Brisbane, and one of the big games of the Carnival was that between Victoria and West Australia.
Roberts. Mitchell tried to get it for Victoria, didn't. Teddy Whitten has, though. Not cleanly. Gavalik is there over the top of him.
Handballs across to Graham. Graham kicks downfield and will be marked
Sorrell is there.
A nice mark by Sorrell, who threw himself to the ground.
He got ahead of Oswald there.
He goes back for his kick now. Jerovich leading. A nice kick too. Jerovich.
Chance for Jerovich to go high. He mistimed it, though.
Bunton with the ball. Handballs across to Clark, who falls to the ground. Williams comes in, has a snap. Goes across goal, has been marked by Fancy. No, they don't play the mark.
Turner comes away with it. Dixon rather. No, it was Turner.
Bit of a melee of players there, and the ball is finally out of bounds. It's shown here. Schultz there for Victoria, who will go on his own. No ruckman there for WA.
Oswald in there, but he couldn't handle it. Neither could Dixon.
The runner for WA going out with another message to the players. The throw in here. Jack Clark to WA fly, but Schultz gets the knock down.
However, he got it down to Chadwick.
Chadwick will get a kick here for
Australia, yes. 11-11-77 to Victoria's 12-8-80.
And a little fellow, this Chadwick, but a lovely kick. Kick is a good one too.
Marked by
Harriet for
Harriet.
Victoria. He's keeping Jervis right out of the game.
You can see the rain falling now.
A nice long kick. The ball goes over the top of the pack.
Oswald stood on his own. Handballs to Dixon. Dixon across to Abrahams. Abrahams can't handle it properly. Gets it in, though, to Whitten. Whitten got rid of it. Barassi's up there. Has a shot for goal. Won't make it. And it'll go
right across goals, and it is out of bounds.
Out of bounds. The scoreboard end in the deep pocket.
John
Still
Peck
3 points.
John Peck, the 19th man for Victoria, playing in goals. Full forward. Handball down, knocked down by Jack Clark.
Nichols across. Bluey Adams has it taken away from him, though.
Kicks down to Sorrell.
Neil Roberts tried to mark, couldn't do it, though. Oswald swings it around. Bluey Adams is there to take it. And he's bumped heavily by Button, but he doesn't bunt. Neither of them got it.
Rogers palmed Adams right out of the game.
Yes, Swift for Victoria. And Schultz. Farmer.
Handballs out to Williams. Williams running into goal. He missed kicks the ball across, got the goal mouth.
He'll give her Turner marked it.
Mark there by Turner.
A heavy bump to Regan just before that kick.
Evidently the crowd don't agree with umpire Sweeney's decision of the mark to Turner. They're booing here. Turner's kick is not a very good one. Over the top of
Dixon it was, yes. Now Neil Roberts handballs across to Barassi. Victoria playing a little loosely, but they got it away now. Louis Adams has it there, but eventually Hugh Mitchell gets it. Kicks up towards goals. And a mark by Mick Aylett. Well within scoring range, a chance to kick his 6th goal.
About 25 to 30 yards out from goal, Aylett will take his kick. It's a pun kick. Yes, off the mark and only 1 point.
12-9-81 to Victoria. 11-11-77 to Western Australia. 4 points now, the difference.
Not much in the game at this stage.
Not much at all. Half-time scores, 11-68 Victoria, 5-8-38 to Western Australia. They're going to have to come back a little more.
That will kick out for WA. His kick is a good one.
Into a stiff breeze, too.
A pack of about 4 or 5 players fly. Nothing's done to the ball. It comes to the ground. Barassi there for Victoria. Bumps Chadwick out of the way, and the ball goes out of the ground. A throw in here. Nichols and Clark for WA fly.
Knocked down to Marshall. Screws around, gets his kick down to the middle of the ground on the outer side. Now Mort for Victoria brushes off a couple of players, but fell over in doing so. West Australia get Roberts is there ahead of his man, though, ahead of Mummy. And Victoria trying to come back into attack. They do. Mort gets a hand pass to Barassi. Barassi doesn't do anything with it, just straight up in the air.
I think they're playing a throw there against Barassi, and
yes.
It looks like Fancy will take the kick for WA.
Yes, Fancy it is.
Who came on as 19th man in place of John Todd, who was injured. His kick is a good one. Gablett sets himself, flies, misses the ball.
Here's a chance for them, though.
Chadwick coming in here.
Can't pick the ball up.
Yes, and the ball is out of bounds again.
The West Australian down on the ground on the outer side of the field.
about 30 yards out in the pocket on the right-hand side of the ground. Chance here for WA to score. Ball is thrown in. Nichols gets the knock.
Bunton is there. He's a chance for them.
Snap. Yes.
And it's a goal.
It's the fury of the pace. It's the glory of the race. And you'll find it